Yo, what up, though? It's your boy Street Coder Nate. Welcome back to the channel. All right, today I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of insight into my route on going through computer science. So I went three different routes. I went to the University of Michigan. That's where I got introduced to computer science. But then at the University of Michigan, the shit was gross the way that they was teaching it. So I decided to really start learning on my own and just started Googling shit and books and all types of stuff. And then I also started working at a boot camp. And so I got some boot camp experience too, as I saw the curriculum being taught at the boot camp, as I taught the students and whatnot. So, but today though, I don't want to talk about all three of them because over one day I'm gonna talk about which one's better. But today I'm just gonna hone in on the university route, what it was like going the university way. Okay, so first off, I didn't even want to do computer science at first. Real talk, it was this girl up in high school and I was about to graduate, and I've always been very, very technical, like in computers and real stuff like that and software. And so she was like, "You gonna be an engineer when you grow up." And I was just a big head ass kid, and I was just like, I don't like people telling me what the fuck I'm gonna be, for real, for real. So I was like, no, I'm not. So when I went to college, I decided to do anything that wasn't pertaining to engineering. And so in my first year, I decided to do, I thought I was about to try to be a doctor. You know, everybody try to go to college and be a doctor. That's what I tried to do in my first year. But then it was hell. I got a D minus in chemistry and I got a D plus in bio. I got like a 1.7 that semester. It was trifling. Yeah, I was like, I'm not going. And then I couldn't even stand the blood. The classes was boring. I said, yeah, I'm not really feeling this. So my freshman year, or my freshman summer going into my sophomore year, I said, I got to make a decision what the fuck I'm gonna do. And then I just kept hearing in the back of my head, engineering. And my homeboy, Fernando, he had just graduated. He was from Grand Rapids too. He had just graduated and he was like, yo, bro, I'm about to go work at Ford, doing this mechanical engineering shit. And bro, I'm about to make like 78 to 90 bands. And I'm like, bro, I know where you're from because we from the same place. Like, people like us can make that type of money. So I said, I bet I'm going to end up doing mechanical engineering. But in order to do mechanical engineering, I had to go through the computer science EECS 183. I had to go through that introduction class. And it was EECS 183 that made me really fall in love with computer science. Just seeing that video, I got a video that shows the truth about computer science. Check that out. It was that video that I'm playing in the background there that really stole me. I saw Chris Bosch. I saw what the work area was like. I knew that they was making six figures. I was like, yo, and then it was just talking about breaking down problems and I fucks with the Rubik's Cube all the time. So I'm like, I love the problem. Like, give me. It's easy. So I was going through the class and it was just, we was building stuff and we was collaborating with other people. And I just really felt like I was a part of the team. It really felt dope. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm liking this. Okay. But mind you, I'm a sophomore in this class and this is my first semester, my sophomore year. And so I walk into the class and the class is just full of freshmen. First off, full of freshmen. And I'm gonna be honest, full of white freshmen. I don't know if y'all know about white freshmen at universities, like big universities like University of Michigan, but they rich as hell and don't give a fuck. And so they will literally roll their eyes at the teacher if they feeling like the teacher talk too slow because they know the shit. And I'd be like, well, sorry, little motherfucker, that you known this shit since 2 years old. This motherfuckers like me who this is like the first time they seen it. And so honestly, sitting in the class with all that pressure, I was like, you know what? I don't like pressure and I'm a very competitive person for real. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to become the best computer scientist that I can be. And so I sat in that class and I was like, I don't know what I got to do to figure this shit out. And kind of like what the kids were saying, that the teachers was teaching kind of slow for real. And I was trying to follow their pace, but I just kept falling behind because I would study a bunch and get ahead and then just start bullshitting and then fall behind. And I had to study a bunch and get ahead because it wasn't on a good pace where I could just do it consistently. And so it wasn't like study a bunch because that's just how I was. I'm hip like that. I just study a bunch and I could keep going like that. But I understand that other students aren't. So what I had to do was kind of build my own curriculum. So as I was trying to continue that study a bunch and then fall behind, study a bunch, I kept fucking up. I was getting I was getting like C's and D's in my computer science classes on my exams, but the projects at the University of Michigan, the projects they were help you. Like the projects was worth like 50%, maybe 40% of your grade, and then the exams would be worth like 60 to 50%. So if you bombed the exams all the way for real, and you aced the projects and they hit you with that curve, my nigga, you might be in it with a B minus, B. You feel me? And so I was always passing, but at the same time, I was just failing the hell out them exams. And it really took me to kind of like say, pull myself out of the university way of how they wanted me to learn. Because, you know, schools kind of set you up to learn in a specific way. They think that we're all made the same way, so they got a systematic way of teaching. But we all know it's set up for white people, and even like anybody could see the shit. So while I was going through the university, that's what dawned on me. It dawned on me as a sophomore, maybe a junior. It hit me as a junior. I said, because I remember I was a second semester junior. I was failing so much, a second semester junior. It wasn't until my second semester as a junior that I started killing computer science. So I'm talking about a whole year as a sophomore. Through the sophomore summer I went, and then also like the beginning of my junior year. I was getting my ass kicked, but I kept going and I kept getting better and better and better, and I just started acing shit afterwards. And the reason that I got better is, once again, I started doing my own type of studying. I realized that the instructors would say, read these books or watch these videos, and 9 times out of 10, you know, nobody finna read them books or watch the videos, and we just show it to class and then they teaching the shit. But I was like, what if I read the books and watched the videos? So I read the books and watched the videos, and to my damn surprise, I came to class and this nigga said literally verbatim what was in the book. And I was like, And I just kept reading the book and watching the videos, and they just kept saying what was in the book and what was in the videos. And I said, these niggas are just regurgitating the damn book. So I said, okay, bet. I'm just gonna start reading the book, doing all the problems, or looking at the syllabus. I took the syllabus and I said, all right, bet. We got these. This is the things we're learning. This book will teach this shit in three chapters. I don't know why we in school in 14 weeks, but this book teaching in 3 chapters. Cool. I'm finna sit here, learn these 3 chapters, watch a couple YouTube videos about the shits, and then just do the practice problems throughout until like the exam. That's what I started doing. And then I would just took the hell off. Like I started teaching. I taught intro to computer science for grad students. Then I also taught intro to computer security, where we taught them how to hack Wi-Fi, hack websites, XXS attacks, C# attacks, or CSFR attacks. All of those, like we was doing even the hardware attacks, and like I get to a point where the computer science wasn't no longer beating my ass. It became very, very interesting. And through the interesting part, it became super fun. And then it was like, wow, okay, no one teaches you that you got to get your ass beat. If you go the university route, you got to get your ass beat. That's just what it is. If you're new to computer science and you go to the university route, you're going to get your ass beat. That's just what it is. It's going to kick your ass, but you got to get back up and you got to know that it's going to be all right. And so, I mean, we all know that's gonna be all right, but when you seeing those E's and D's coming, it's real hard, for real. And so I just want to take y'all through a little track of what went down at the University of Michigan. So I hit the EECS 183, and that was smooth, and I moved on to EECS 180 or EECS 280, so EECS 183 was Intro to Computer Science with C++, and that was real cool. We made little projects and had some partners and whatnot. And then my final project, we made Flappy Birds. Not going into details because it might take the grade back, but we made Flappy Birds and it was dope. Then my next year or my next semester, I ended up taking EECS 280 and 203. 203 was hell. Oh my God. Was it combinational logic? No. It was discrete mathematics. Oh my God, that shit worse than calculus. But at the end of the day, what it really taught me was that was what Steve Jobs was talking about. Computer science helps you think. That logic, combinational logic and the discrete mathematics really breaks it down. But when they're teaching it at the University of Michigan, they're just teaching it in a math way and in a school way. So they're not really making you understand it on a humanistic way of this logic gate is what's happening in your brain when you're making decisions on what to do. And when you teach it like that, it makes more sense. But at the university, they're going to teach it like how schools teach it, like learn this and learn that and learn that and learn that. And then you're like, why does this even, you the whole time you're trying to figure out how the shit even connect. And while you're trying to figure out how the first parts connect, they teach you 20 other parts that you still trying to figure out how to connect. We all can attest. So, okay, 280, I was getting my ass kicked, but that was like data structures, like intro to data structures. And this wasn't like using data structures. This was learning about the data structures and then building them bitches from scratch. And so my whole time at 280, I'm thinking, oh, computer science finna be like this. We finna be building data structures and trying to use them afterwards. I'm like, oh, hell no. But then we moved on to EECS 281, where in 280 I got a B, and 203 I got a C. That was the first C I got for real. And I was taking Calc 2 that semester, got a C in that bitch too. Hey, those was the first 2 C's I was ever happy with. I said, on to the next. All like C's get degrees and shit. If you ask me, D's do too, because I got some D's on that bitch. But anyway, so we moving on. So 280, 203, and then I went and did EECS 281. EECS 281 was data structures and algorithms. Now I'm already thinking like, well, we just did intro to data structures, so now we about to build data structures and then somehow use them with algorithms or something. But that was totally different. This class is what really showed me what computer science was. The first 2 classes was like a prep, or the first 2 like semesters at 183 and then 203 and 280. Those were prep for what I got into in 281. And I took that in the spring of my like from my sophomore year, and then I went spring semester, so only 7 to 8 weeks. It was accelerated, and what they taught was like all these different data structures, vectors, hash maps, queues, stacks, and all these different things like that, teaching about kind of like how it all connects, but then at the same time teaching us how to make our code run super fast, using all these different type of logic tricks that we kind of had introduced in 203. And then data structure part, well, we weren't building data structures, we were using them from the libraries that were already built. So I got introduced to libraries in this class. I was like, oh, there are people who already made these data structures, and then they said you should use those data structures rather than make your own. I said, better. So then I was like, all right, so those 20 hours of creating data structures is not gonna happen. Now I could focus on just using them. And so we would get these thick ass packets of just problems that we had to break down and shit. And so we would break them down. It'll take like days, for real. I remember my first project, they only gave us like 5 days. That packet was thick. There was no starter code. Oh man, I was sick. Starter code is like some code that the teacher writes, and then you just got to fill it in and it help you. They threw all that shit up. 183, 280, they helped you. 281, they said, oh no, we taking the steering wheels off. So basically, if you had to write a paper for school and you started typing in Microsoft Word, well, for coders, if you got a code, we got some like Visual Studio Code that's like Microsoft Word. We open it up and it's just a blank document. That's what I saw, and I had a big packet that I had to create from a blank document. And so this is where coding really got fun. It was complicated but fun. I actually got a B+ in this class, and it wasn't curved. I got a 89.5 in the class, and usually they curve the class, but for some reason that semester everybody was eating. That was the first class that I was like, okay, I'm starting to really get this computer science stuff, and it's starting to be fun for real. It was still complicated. I was up all night stressing. My first project, I had 30 on the auto grader the night before it was due, and I didn't get a 95 on the auto grader until 2 hours it was due. I was about to drop that course but I prevailed, and then I just continued going through, and it really tests you. The university route that's a testing ass route for real, because honestly I started with a lot of people, and a lot of people dropped off throughout the way, and you could just see like the freshman class be huge, but by the time you're a senior you almost know everybody in the damn class. It's like, oh, we done been here and we seen so many damn people fall off. Like, it's a gruesome ass battle. But after you get past EECS 281, that's the rock'em and sock'em boy, once you get past it, what you can do is go take some electives, and the electives was real fun. That's where you can build websites and build servers and build operating systems, and that's exactly what I went to go do. So when I got into my first electives, this was my junior year now, my first semester junior year. Remember, I just started computer science a year ago, first semester sophomore. So now I'm a first semester junior and I'm taking electives because I don't killed the whole damn prereqs in a year because I did spring and summer semesters. And so now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take 3 electives at once. So I took intro to architecture. I took intro to computer organization, or that was computer architecture, and then computer combination computer logic. It was real deep, theorem, like MP hard problems, that stuff. And then I also took intro to computer security, and that's where I got my first A in intro to computer security, which I then went and taught the following year. In those classes, everybody, all my advisors was like, bro, you gonna fail if you take 3 computer science classes at once. But I ended up getting a 3.0 that semester. I was killing it. Those were only 3 classes I ended up taking. Following semester, I took 1 computer science class, intro to operating systems. That motherfucker tested me to the max, but it was dope. It was dope. I mean, like, I ain't never coded so much. I spent so many nights in the library. It was it was on another level of like, you use Microsoft Windows, you use Windows 10, or you use Mac OS or Linux. We were literally building that from scratch using C++, and we had to learn about locks and mutexes and threading and using a network card and creating a network file system. Like, shit was wild. One of my partners ended up dropping on me on the last project. I ended up having to take it on. I learned so much in that semester. This is my last semester, junior year, before I ended up going to my internship. But I got my ass kicked. I ended up leaving that bitch with a C+, but that was the best C+ I ever got. Like, I learned so much though. I got a C+, but I learned a ridiculous amount. Like, I was like, honestly, if I take the class again, I knew I could get an A because I don't taught so many people operating systems since. But like, I sat and I learned the principles. I just wasn't able to get the code to work on certain projects, or when you're testing, you just go like. So that's what happened. But I got the principles, and I went on and I went to, I'm gonna jump over my internship. My senior semester, I ended up taking networks, and networks was fun because it built off of operating systems, and I was building distributed systems. We were building routers with C++. We built this one thing, a proxy server. We built a proxy server that had videos. It was like a YouTube proxy server that served videos, and we had to get the bits in bit by bit by bit, build up a package, serve it out it was dope, using Wireshark and all that stuff. And my senior project was cool too. I think I got a C+ in that class too. Networks was hard. Like, the project, and networks was a 500 level class, almost 600 level. And that was a grad course. And so I got a C+, and I honestly, like I said, like, getting the knowledge was cool. At that point in my life, I started realizing that, like, because I was also teaching computer science for computer security, I realized that the grade didn't really matter. What mattered was that I got the knowledge. And so I didn't really care about getting A's anymore. Certain classes I got A's because it was just easy, like web dev, that was super easy, got an A. The computer security, it made sense to me because I like that type of stuff, so I got an A. But operating system got my ass kicked. Like, networks got my ass kicked, but it was worth the knowledge that I gained and the grit that I gained. And so that's how, and then I had my senior project, my last year. I got off so well. I don't really think I coded much. We made an iOS app. I made the infrastructure, but we didn't really do much after that. We BS, and I got an A in that class, and it was dope. So that's kind of like my whole through computer science. It was at University of Michigan. It's a battle. It's not easy, but I'm telling you, when you leave that university and you go to the real world, and everybody not got their ass beat how you got your ass beat in college, and now in the real world telling you to make a button. They're paying you thousands of dollars to make a button on a website, to center that button, when you was just like, I was crying for years to get A's and B's. I was up all night coding operating systems, networks, and now you're telling me a button. it became easy. Like life after that, like literally computer science is super enjoyable now. I love going to work. The university route, it was gruesome. It tested me. I wanted to drop. A lot of people do drop, but I would say that grit that you gain afterwards is definitely worth it. But there are other ways that you can get that degree. I'm also about self-taught programming, because if you kind of think about it, after a minute I started doing my own self-taught programming. Like I started teaching, but we'll get a video about that. And then there's also boot camps, which I also support too. I also worked at a boot camp, and I saw how productive. And I also know you don't need 4 years to learn it. Like boot camps, you could get it in 4 months. My boot camp, you can get it 2 months. So it's like I understand different avenues, but the university route, I would definitely say, did give me some grit in this shit. So I mean, let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments, and we'll tap in on the next one. All right, peace.